Hello everybody, I'm the Ginger Avenger and welcome back to another Warframe video. Today I wanted to talk about Follie. I know I'm a little late to the party on this by about almost 2 weeks now. Uh, Life has been lifing, I apologize, but without further ado, let's just get into it. I want to talk about her abilities, I want to show her off a little bit. I think she's a really awesome Warframe, really unique. I've been having fun playing with her, but all that being said, enough talk, let's just get into her abilities and see what she's about. On her passive, Ink Blot. Follie's abilities coat enemies in ink that slow their movement by 50% for a few seconds. Afflicted enemies have a 20% chance to drop health and energy orbs. So this means as long as you're maintaining her abilities by keeping the effigies up, constantly using your A1, you're always going to be putting Ink Blot on the enemies, which means you're always going to be getting health and or mana orbs. Her A1. Drop through an inky frame and emerge invulnerable at the aimed location and a splash of ink that inflicts ink blot on nearby enemies. This one's fun. I love doing this. You can pretty much point almost anywhere. There is a range that you have to stay within, but we're going to try to take care of that when we build her. Her A2, Shadow Graph. Bring Shadow Graphs from Follie's sketchbook to life as items that can be used for tactical advantage. Shadow Graphs splash ink blot onto nearby enemies when created. Hold to open the gear wheel. So we're going to get into that a little bit later. I want to show you the actual gear wheel before we go into the mission and give you an idea of what it's about. Her A3, Self-Portrait. This is where she spawns an ink effigy to absorb damage dealt by 2 Follie and allies. And below, a pool of ink spreads ink blot. Kill enemies inside the pool to grow Follie's effigy and its ink puddle. This one is really fun. You basically just spawn a statue made of ink of Follie, and as you take damage, as your team takes damage, the ink puddle at the bottom spreads and applies that ink blot debuff to the enemies that are standing in it. This is excellent because that means you're also going to be getting off her passive health drops and energy drops. Onto the A4. This one is probably my favorite just because it looks so cool. Plain air. Tie nearby enemies to floating balloons that douse them with ink blot. Pop the balloons and send them crashing to the ground, splashing damage on nearby enemies. This one I think is just fun to watch. I don't know what else to say about it. I just enjoy watching watching them get tied to balloons and float up in the air, and they're helpless. They can't do anything. Now let's take a look at how I built her. I wasn't planning on putting any forma into her, at least not right now, so I wasn't able to fill every mod slot, but I can show you what I was able to do. Her duration I got to 120%. This is going to make the ink effigy last a lot longer. This is going to help with the plain air, her A4, they'll be floating in the air a lot longer. Efficiency is only at 50%, but that's fine. I made up for that with high energy, 663, which is kind of a lot. And we honestly probably don't even really need that because off of her passive, we're going to constantly be getting energy drops anyway. But this is going to make it to where we can always be throwing her abilities. Range I was able to get up to 227%. This is going to help a lot the most with her A3. The ink effigy, so when the effigy spawns and the pool starts growing, it's going to grow bigger than normal, obviously. Strength, 180%, pretty respectable. I don't think we need to really go any further than that. Molt Augmented is going to drastically help. This is actually an arcane I use on my Frost Prime build. Frost Prime is my favorite Warframe. But this basically is going to let us, every time we get a kill, we're going to get plus 0.24% ability strength, and that can stack 250 times, which is insane. So basically, her ink is going to be doing some damage. Alright, here's the shadow graph I wanted to show you about. I went ahead, when you first unlock Follie, you're actually going to have this, oh wow, it still says Death Orb. You're still going to have the explosive barrel on the A1. I went ahead and moved it because I like to start with the Death Orb on my A1. You can come in here and you can actually change what it looks like. I actually am not sure if this does anything in game, like physically. I think it's just all aesthetic, cosmetic type stuff. But I'm not going to mess with this right now. Just wanted to show that you can actually do this. Don't save, we're not doing that. Alright, all that being said, let's take her into a mission and see how she actually holds up.
Fallen enemies will drop crucial life support. Be on the lookout. Defeat the corrupted, and use the reactant to open a relic.
Alright, let's see what this death orb looks like. Here's her effigy. Look at how big this pool is. It's insane. Just at the beginning.
Find more.
Oh my. If you notice, look how big it's gotten already. Somebody's taking damage. Look at the bottom of the screen. You'll actually see a little countdown timer. That's how long we have until the effigy runs out. But as you do more damage, it will kind of reset that number. So you could essentially keep it going forever if you can keep doing damage. I gotta get somewhere where I can like have some space and show off these abilities. Alright, let's see how these balloons work. Oh my god, that is so good. Oh, and when you hit it again, it just explodes the balloons. I love that. These balloons are so cool. I love this. I love that. I love that so much. That's so awesome. And here we're showing off the A1, just doing a couple back-to-back teleports. When she teleports to a location, the ink blot gets all over the enemies surrounding her, which gives the debuff to them. Here's the effigy. This is the A3, which is going to create the ink pool at her feet. If you look on the ground, you can see how it's moving around. Any enemy touching this will take the debuff and receive extra damage.
This will help our cause.
That's a really big...
When you need it,
That's a really big ink
extraction is
effigy. Alright guys, I just wanted to give you a quick little showcase on Follie. I've really been wanting to do this video for a long time. I know I kind of rushed through it, but my honest opinions on Follie, I think she's really unique. I think she's a great Warframe. She's a great addition to the game. I think she kind of brings her own special vibe. I love the ink theme. I love how... I love her style, honestly. I mean, she's like a BBW, right? Look at her. I love this Warframe. I'm glad I grinded for her. I highly suggest you do the same. This was worth it. This is a great frame to add to the collection. All that being said, thank you so much for watching, and I'm going to see you in the next video. See ya.